42nd monthly Cultural Council meeting and annual public input meeting. It is now 5:15 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. This meeting is live and is being recorded and streamed. Please keep this in mind when making comments, and if participating remotely, be aware of how your screen frame appears. The Fitchburg Cultural Council is a nonprofit volunteer body that is part of the City of Fitchburg government. We are also part of the Mass Cultural Council, whereby our mission is to elevate our rich cultural life in Massachusetts. The Mass Cultural Council partners with communities across the Commonwealth to expand access, improve education, promote diversity, and encourage excellence in the arts, humanities, and sciences. Through our efforts, we make our Commonwealth a better place to live, work, and visit for everyone. We welcome the public to attend any of our meetings and allow public comment on any agenda item. With today being our annual public input meeting and July monthly meeting, we'll combine both opportunities for public comment into one. The first, if there are any items on the agenda in which you would like to speak, please approach the podium here in the Legislative Building, state your name and city of residence, and you'll have 2 minutes to make your comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to make a comment? Seeing none, I'll move on. We have an email correspondence, an email comment from Ms. Jacqueline Wedgie, a Fitchburg resident, and I'll read it as follows into the record. There is a concept known as the virtuous triangle, where one action has 3 positive benefits. I urge you to spend your budget on intersection art. The benefits are, number 1, you can find an intersection in bad shape and get it paved as part of this project, and we all know how much Fitchburg needs paving. Number 2, you can make the intersection more aesthetically pleasing. Number 3, you can make the intersection safer, according to a study by Bloomberg Philanthropies, and in parentheses here, which is a private funder of these projects, so you can augment any state grants you get. City streets became, and then I'm getting into a quote here of an article I'll give the address to in a moment. City streets became considerably safer for pedestrians after incorporating art into roadway redesigns. The data showed a 50% drop in crashes involving pedestrians or cyclists and a 37% drop in crashes leading to injuries. Overall, intersections with asphalt art saw a 17% reduction in total accidents. The videos showed a 27% increase in the rate of drivers yielding to pedestrians with the right-of-way, and a 25% drop in potentially dangerous conflicts between drivers and pedestrians. What they're saying, anything that humanizes the roadway environment is a safety benefit. Michael Flynn, Schwartz's National Director of Transportation Planning, tells Axios, and Axios is the writer of the article. Next bullet here, it's all psychological, he explains. Traffic engineering is a social science. You're changing driver expectations. Things that constrain their field of vision and physically constrain the roadway cause drivers to recognize they're entering an area where they might encounter pedestrians. This has been done in numerous cities throughout the U.S. and is not some new and untried idea. And the article address is www.axios, spelled AXIOS.painted-streetscapes-road-safety. And that is all one word with no spaces. I'll read that one more time just for everyone who's watching this. It's www.axios.com/2024/painted-streetscapes-road-safety. Thank you, Ms. Wedgie. Is there anyone else wishing to speak for the public input meeting section? Seeing none. Is there anybody online as of this time? FATV? Okay, we have nobody online as well. This closes the public input section of our meeting. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. Let's see, we have the new members update. I had a discussion with the mayor's office with regard to how we bring on new members, and in an effort to try to make this take a lot less time, we have arranged for those that are interested in joining the Cultural Council are welcome to submit their letter of interest and resume directly to the mayor's office. And the mayor has promised that if she finds folks that are of her interest in joining the Cultural Council, that she will recommend that they come and attend a meeting and learn more about us and determine whether or not they can make the commitment. And so with that, we have already proceeded, and I have sent off the letters of interest from Dan and Lily, the two folks who have been joining us for the past several months. And we hope to see appointments for them in September. So more to come on that. Next item on the agenda is grants updates. So I took some time since coming in as the next chair. I wanted to familiarize myself with nearly everything as best I could in the short amount of time that we had. I did spend a great deal of time over the weekend going over our grant applications that are in process and those that are completed. And I just wanted to let the council know that we currently have 10 of our current grants where the grantees have yet to request their funds. And three of those 10 have already held their projects. So we'll be making an effort to contact them to find out if they continue to have an interest in those funds or it is something they would like to return to our pot for the next cycle, which begins on September 1st, and more on that later. There are also 18 grants that the events or the programs associated with those grant applications have been completed, and we do not have final reports from the grantees yet. So I'll also be reaching out to them to get a feel for when we might be able to get those reports in, since they are very important to close out our books, accounting and otherwise, for the great work that they did for the city of Fitchburg. And the last item I have in regards to updates on grants is back in December, we voted on application number 46742, which was the Marion Rice Dance Legacy Project. I'm not sure if that rings a bell with the counselors. And the request at the time was due to situations with the family, that there was scheduling problems that prevented them from executing on the project, and they had requested an extension at that time, and we gave them an extension through June 30th. And that time has passed, and in contact with Rebecca Rice, she's the grantee, she has indicated that she is still planning to do this project and was unable to meet her prior commitment to us again, but would like to get an extension through December 31st. And unless from a treasurer's perspective there's no complications with that because it is from a FY23 funding source,
so
that doesn't pose an issue.
we would at the end of by the time we're looking at our grants, we are normally looking to see what the balance is that's unspent in FY23 and reprogram that. So we just have to take that into consideration when we're reprogramming.
Okay.
If we're looking at that in October, that might not be spent, and we don't want to accidentally reprogram it. So we just have to keep that in mind.
Okay, great. Tamar?
What was the reason for the request for extension?
They needed more time.
Is there any other details?
So, the details are more of a personal matter, but I've found them to be reasonable.
Okay.
if that's comforting, in trying to decide whether we should support the extension. The rest of my statement was to wrap up and say that I am in favor of providing this extension. Rebecca has been a grantee for several years, and she's always pulled off her events, and this is a significant situation where it's not been possible for her, and she wants to continue to make that commitment to us.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. So if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the extension for Rebecca Rice.
Great, we have a motion from Tamar to accept the extension request of application number 46742, the Marion Rice Dance Legacy Project, to extend through December 31st. And Liz is a second. Anyone speaking to the motion?
I was to say, I think we should approve it. I agree with you. I know she's been active, has gotten grants before and has always done some really interesting events.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Are there any other, do any councilors have any updates on grants that I might have missed in my studying? Okay, great. So moving on to the treasurer's report. Actually, hold on. I am having a brainstorm about something I think related to grants. No, I was mistaken.
Okay.
Moving on to the treasurer's report. Liz?
All right, so in front of you, you should have the June 2024 Treasurer's Report. It's actually 3 pages, so front, back, and then second page. Not that one. It's right over there,
So this is
Tamara.
something-
It's
oh,
that.
this.
Yeah, it's that. Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I was like,
I'm at the wrong sheet. Thank you.
So when you're looking at the grant reports, just a reminder that this is breaking down the multiple years of accounts that we have. The first one is our local funds. Those are not the funds that we receive every year, but they're funds that we have generated through winter bazaars, spring bazaars, open studios, donations. So that account, there's really been no activity in it. The only thing I'll note about it is that our auditor is just moving it into a new account that's called a revolving loan account, and it's really an internal transfer. And the only difference that we're going to see is that account number is going to change. That one account number that you see on the very left-hand side that right now is 1410300 is going to change to a different number to be the revolving account number. I guess it always should have been that one. So there's no activity there. The next block of transactions, no new activity, but I'm just showing the most recent kind of batch of activity. So that's from 2023. This is this amount has been reprogrammed into our FY24 grants, but it just hasn't moved out of this account yet. I started that process with the auditor this morning, requesting the transfer. So it's going to be spent on our FY24 grants.
Okay.
But it's just shown in a separate bucket right now. So once that gets moved, I will wrap those funds into the FY24 bucket. So then the next block that you see is our FY23, so last year's grant activity. Also, no new activity there. The balance is still the same. It's $10,489. If the Marianne Rice, is it Marianne Rice? Marianne Rice project goes forward, we'll see a transaction there. I don't know if there's 1 or 2 other transactions that may happen, but that's what we would look to reprogram for this coming grant cycle, where we're looking in October. So at the most, we'd have that amount to reprogram, potentially a little bit less. Then the last block, which has the most activity, This is basically all of the activity in the account. The bolded items towards the bottom of the page are the new transactions since the last report. So right now, we have $13,698 in that, so that represents the undistributed grant dollars to date. There could be some other activity that I haven't seen yet, because this is only going through June. So some July, if there's July activity, that's not in there. So summarizing all of that, our total, actually, now that I'm looking at this, I'm seeing an error in the summary because the local account total did not get pulled into this total.
Yep.
So, and actually it still says May, I apologize. The total of all of the grant funds, not including the local amount, is $32,400.32, plus the $1,825.15. So that is the total amount of money that we have. The next box is really there for us to think about reprogramming, but we're not in a place to do that yet. And that is my report. Any questions?
Yes. I was wondering, where are the two, there were two checks that had come from Enterprise Bank and from the Redevelopment Authority for the scholarship program, which we didn't do this spring. Does that money get dumped into local funds?
That would go into local funds. So do you know how long ago that those transactions from a while ago?
So it would have been like, yeah, it would have been a year ago.
Okay, yeah, so that's why they're not showing, it's just that the transactions were so old that I kind of pulled all that information out. But that's where it would be. So we could look at May, probably May still has the old information in there.
Okay.
So this figure should incorporate that, unless there's a question about whether or not those deposits were received, those donations were received. And I don't know the answer. So I will look and see whether we received those.
Yeah, Enterprise gave us a check, and Megan at the Redevelopment Authority gave us a check. There were two checks, and I want to make sure they don't get completely lost.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume, and both of those sound familiar, I would assume that they're already accounted for in this bottom line number.
Okay.
I have a question. So I don't see the grant that was awarded for the Low Park Chalk Art Festival. It would be in 2024, and it was, would have been written directly to the Fitchburg Cultural Alliance, but I don't see either of those listed here.
Fitchburg Cultural Alliance,
There was-
12, 21, 23.
No, it's this year, 24.
Oh. I only have what is in Munis's records, which Munis is the accounting system.
Right.
So this does actually, every bottom line balance matches Munis's records through the end of June. So this means that it hasn't been paid through the end of June. It doesn't mean it hasn't been paid. It could
Right,
been
no,
paid
it
in
would have been
July.
paid in July, probably.
So
And
that
it
wouldn't be
probably-
reflected
Okay.
if it was from July. Do you know that the funds were actually cut and?
I know that it was cut, but it was sent to the Alliance, and I haven't confirmed with Jesse that it's actually come in, and so it has not been deposited yet.
Okay, yeah, so that, if that would happen in July, it wouldn't be reflected in this report.
Okay.
Tamar?
I was just curious if Shara was looking for the 613 Cultural Alliance funds, or that's something different.
If Sheriff, you know your application number,
Oh.
63473 got
That might be
paid out.
it. Thank you. I think, I see that now.
In fact, I was just also about to add to my comment is that I see some activity from June that is not reflected on our grant report yet. After we get the information from the treasurer, we know it's been processed, we update the grant report, the grant tracking sheet. So I see some of the 10 I'm chasing down are probably in this list.
Great. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would make a motion that we accept the grant report with the one edit that it says the summary of July 2024 instead of May.
Actually, it should say June.
June,
Sorry.
excuse me, June, right, because we're in July now. And was there anything else that needed to change?
Local
The
account.
local account line.
And the local account added to the total, making it $34,225.47.
Okay, we have a motion as stated by Shara. I don't have the
Second.
numbers written down. I have a second from Tamar. Anyone speaking to that motion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you, Liz. Okay, this concludes the July monthly meeting content, and we are ready to move on to the annual public input meeting. And Lily, good afternoon. Welcome. Lily, while you're here, you missed a component of the new members section, and your information is being submitted to the mayor's office for appointment. And we look forward to hopefully having you join us in September. So thank you. Okay. I think it's at this point, Dan, we can show what I'm sharing here to the folks online. This is a fairly structured, unstructured review of the Fitchburg Cultural Council. The purpose of the public input meeting is twofold. One is to inform the public about why we're here and what we do, and second, to solicit feedback from all of the public who are interested in helping us know what the public wants us to fund every year. And so I will, earlier in the evening, I had spoken about what we fund and why we fund it. And when we get to the sharing of the survey itself, it's spelled out a little bit more. So you may hear me repeat myself a few times, but that's just the course of the presentation. So what I'm sharing on screen here right now is the current members of the Fitchburg Cultural Council. Myself, Joe Bowen, I'm the chair. Shara Osgood, I'm sitting over here to my right, is our secretary. Liz Murphy, immediately to my right, is our treasurer. And Tamar Russell Brown is our former chair, a couple chairs back. She's at the far right of me. We also have Catherine Healy, who is traveling and unable to make it today. And Ellen, she's a member. And Ellen Doust is also a member. She's a local person from Fitchburg. And Samuel Laxamo, who's a local artist from Fitchburg, is also a member. A name that is missing from here is Audrey Pendleton Chow. Audrey has submitted her resignation. She is the former chair as well, and we wish her well in all her endeavors. And I'm quite thankful personally for all the work that she has done. She has really helped progress the council forward as Tamar has. Well, we have a lot of former chairs, which is really nice because we've all been through the ringer together, and it's good to grow with it and have that continued interest even after your terms. So, those of you who are new, I hope that you'll become chair someday, and we'll help you get there. Here are some useful links for folks. We actually have several links and socials that are in need of updating. I'm sharing today what I have assessed are the most recent and current information for you to learn more about the Cultural Council. One of the things that we do between now and September 1st is we get all of our ducks in a row, so to speak, and update all of our advertising to make sure that we're in alignment so that when it comes time for folks to apply for grants, they fully understand what we're all about. And it's a once-a-year function that we do, and we'll be taking care of that between sometime in the month of August. So thank you for your patience and understanding if you find any errors or omissions in what I'm about to share, but to the best of my knowledge, it is pretty accurate. So if you would like to reach the Fitchburg Cultural Council, we are available by email at fitchburg.mcc@gmail.com. As noted in the shared screen here, the capitalization is not important. It's more for readability. We also have a Facebook page, which is located at in the address you see on the screen. But if you were to be in Facebook and just look up Fitchburg Cultural Council, we're pretty easy to find. We have a recognizable logo. Hopefully, you'll be able to find that and like and follow our page. Please like our page and follow us. We also have a Facebook group. All of this, by the way, is open to the public. The group is, it's a very long numeric number, the group, but you could also just look up arts, culture, and things to do in Fitchburg, and you will find us pretty easily there. We also have Instagram at Fitchburg Cultural Council. Coincidentally, it's always the same thing, right? And this is not part of the Cultural Council, but a lot of what, if you're ever looking for something to do in the city of Fitchburg, this is your key source. Everything that we do at the Cultural Council level, but also many of the local organizations, businesses, and individuals who are trying to get the word out and do something fun and exciting or new within the city of Fitchburg. You can find the information about that at fitchburgmass.org. There are currently over 400 events in that calendar, over 100 in this week alone. So trust me when I say you will find a ton to do if you're ever looking for something to do here in Fitchburg. It is also a source for you to submit events of your own. At that webpage, there's a form you can fill out, and we can get your event advertised. The last item is the Mass Cultural Council, which is our, for lack of a better term, we call them our parent organization. They're the state organization that provides us the funds that we use to fund the various grants applications that come in, and they are located at massculturalcouncil.org. So let's talk about the grant season. One of our primary objectives as the Cultural Council is to fund projects within the city of Fitchburg or for the benefit of the residents of the city of Fitchburg. And we have a season that we call it, where folks who are interested in doing programs to contribute to what we're trying to do here, where we accept applications, we provide some trainings, we go through a series of awards, and then we obviously are helping with the maintenance of those grants, which we talked about earlier in the monthly meeting. So today, this is the annual public input meeting. And I see that the slide says Fitchburg Art Museum, so it is. I obviously used this slide from a previous public input meeting. We are in the legislative building downtown. This was not broadcast as part of the public announcement. It's just an error in my presentation, so I apologize for that error. And that's the purpose of the meeting today, is to invite the public to speak. And then we use that information to help us determine what our guidelines and priorities are for how we fund various programs in the coming grant cycle. September 1st is the grant season opener. The website at Mass Cultural Council, that organization, they open up the application season. You'll be able to access your grant application for any project that you are interested in doing here. That season is open through October 15th. October 15th is always the last day, unless it happens to fall on a Sunday or holiday, as it did last year. I think that was the first time I've seen that happen, and they extended it another day or two. I did not look at the calendar to see if October 15th falls on a holiday or not, but it'll be on or after October 15th, depending on whether a holiday or Sunday shows up on the calendar. In the months of September and October, we will have 2 grant training sessions, one each month. They are about an hour long, and we just go through how to fill out an application. It is honestly one of the simplest grant applications that I've ever had to work with, and I've worked with a lot of grant applications. And I think that it's a great opportunity, especially for novices who want to try out grant writing and you want to do something fun and exciting in the world of arts, culture, sciences, technologies, and humanities. We're a great training ground. We're very patient with you. We'll help you get through your application. We will not write your application because that's for you to do and you to demonstrate to us what you want to do. But we will guide you on what sections of the form to fill out and what material should be contained in those sections.
So I just want to say that
Yes.
October 15th is a Tuesday.
Okay, so October 15th will be the cutoff date, and that will be at midnight, and it is a computer system. It is unforgiving. So if it's not hit by midnight, you lose on this opportunity, but you can always apply at the next grant season, which will be September 1st of 2025. After October 15th, the Mass Cultural Council will compile all the applications. They will prepare what we call a panel book, which is something as thick as a Bible, 3 to 4 inches in size, and it contains all of the applications that we received and all the details that go along with that. And it is provided to the counselors here for us to read and understand and come to know the application and the program that's being requested so that we can adequately vote whether they should be funded. And we receive those books by November 1st, and then we spend those 2 months from November 1st to December 31st in a series of meetings that vary from year to year, but can sometimes be between 2 and 6 meetings that last 2 to 4 hours each. It depends on how many applications we receive. It's quite a commitment to do in the holiday season, and I'm grateful for the counselors who are still with us, who are willing to go through this again. Thank you so much. And so we will go through that. We do 2 cycles of approvals. The first approval is just to find out if the applications are qualified. These are not binding votes that they'll be accepted or funded. These are just that we've confirmed that they are qualified for funding. And then we go through another round, and these are where we make the financial decisions as to how much funding we will provide. And sometimes we can fund applications in full. Other times we can fund up to a certain amount of money because we always get more requests for funding than money we receive from the Mass Cultural Council. And in terms of where those funds come from, the state legislature funds the Mass Cultural Council every year. And they take funds from what they receive and they carve out a certain portion of that for all the cities and towns in Massachusetts. And their local cultural councils is what they're called. And the Fitchburg Cultural Council is a local cultural council. And we will receive a portion of those funds. And the amount that we receive, we never know. Sometimes it can be a little bit more. Sometimes it could be a lot more. Sometimes it can be less. It really all depends on how the state's budget is going and how much the Mass Cultural Council receives and what they can share with us. So we're grateful for what we get, and we have always received a fair amount of money. We've been able to fund several programs. I will get into that in a little bit. Anything else regarding the process that I forgot? No? Okay. All right. I'm going to move to the next slide. These are some past events, pictures of past events. And I'm just going to kind of go around, starting in the upper left corner. We have historically funded the Fitchburg Military Band. In fact, they had a performance just this past Sunday, was it? At Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And they're always a great band to watch. The next picture over is a grant that we provided at one time for the Fitchburg Farmers Market, where we funded musicians to perform there. In fact, we have one of those musicians who performed at the Fitchburg Farmers Market once, Eddie Troxer. He's in the room with us today. We also have funded the Fitchburg Blacksmith Festival. And the picture on the right is a snippet of a nighttime view of Civic Days, which is our annual event in downtown Fitchburg. In the lower right is our concerts on the Common. And those are always fun events to fund. And there are concerts even now through mid-August at this point, every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. over at the Upper Common. We're funding that today, and events are occurring ongoing. The two pictures is related to an organization called My Care Initiative, who participated in a story. It was a spoken word event where folks could just come in and tell stories and share thoughts and ideas, and it was a great event to sponsor. And then the next lower left one, this was a geocaching event, and that's if anyone's not familiar with geocaching, it's like a scavenger hunt where you can use your maps to try to locate hidden boxes in certain spaces, and within those boxes could be little trinkets. You could take some out or put some in. It's an interesting thing to look up, and I encourage anyone who's curious about it. It doesn't always involve hiking, but there are a lot of hiking trails that have geocached boxes in them. And then the last picture there, the middle left, is this was fun to see. At the time we had the Revolving Museum based in Fitchburg, and they did an event at Fitchburg Airport and made the world's largest paper airplane. And it was all the artwork you see there were made by the children in the public school systems, not only in Fitchburg but in our region. And there was not an attempt to fly it. It was extremely heavy. I think it would have been disastrous. But we did lift it up and made it look like it was flying. And it was a really great and popular event. So many people came out for it. And these are, I'm showing this for a couple of things. One, to show, just the various things that we've done, but maybe it'll inspire anyone who's watching, who's interested in doing an event, and you've got this crazy idea, but you're not sure if it'll fly. Well, look at this paper airplane, It seemed like a crazy idea, but there it is. It took off, and it was a success. So my recommendation is, if it aligns with the guidelines and priorities that we have set forth here and the public wants it, you can give it a shot, So I encourage everybody to give that a try. I think that's my last slide on this. Yes. So actually moving on to the next part of the meeting, what you see here on the screen is what's called a QR code. I know a lot of people are familiar with it, but there are a lot of people who are not familiar with it. And the QR code is it's an image, kind of like a barcode. And if you have a mobile phone, you can put your camera on that, and it will pop up a link for you to click on, and it will take you directly to our annual public input survey, which I will be switching to momentarily and going through that process with you all. But this also is a website address, not just a QR code, and I did not put that on the slide, but it will be at the top of the survey that I will bring on screen momentarily. The URL for that, or the website address for that, is called tinyurl. So it's tinyurl.com/FCC, as in Fitchburg Cultural Council, Survey 2024. Again, that web address is tinyurl.com/FCC Survey 2024. And with that, I am going to switch over to the survey. So, as mentioned, this survey is available online. For those that are in the room, you're welcome to fill out the paper version of it, or you could use the QR code and do it right from your phone in the comfort of your chair. It's totally up to you. The questions are very short. There are a total of 10 questions in 2 pages on paper. And I'm just going to really read through this, and I will stop for anyone who is in the room who wishes to speak about specific topics. And if there are none, I will move on to the next question, and we will continue to do that through the end of the survey. So the Fitchburg Cultural Council is a volunteer municipal council that acts as Fitchburg representatives for dispersing grant money given by the state through the Mass Cultural Council. And it's for the purposes of arts, culture, science, technology, and humanities programs. The survey, this is a paper survey that I'm reading from, so you can return the survey to us in paper form if you wish, to any one of our Cultural Council members or volunteers. You can drop it off in the City Hall's red mailbox, or you could submit it online using the link and QR code which is listed above. And I have read that enough, I think, that everybody gets it. To help determine our local priorities and requirements for fiscal year 25, which is what we'll be opening our grant season for, please complete the survey with your feedback by August 1st. This allows us time to compile the responses for us to put the guidelines and priorities together for our meeting in the month of August, where we set them and then publish them on September 1st for the world to apply. We do ask for one response per person, and we are only requesting responses from those who live and or work in Fitchburg. That is our target audience and who we provide funding for. We do love to receive responses from kids. So one of the things that historically has been in our priorities is to do programs that are focused on children and families. And the more we can do of that, I know the more we will be able to support what the public has been asking. I expect that this will happen again this year, but every survey year is different. You never know what you can get. So question number 1 is your name. Hopefully everybody knows that, and we'll be able to fill that out without a problem. What is your connection to Fitchburg? Here's you select whether or not you live in Fitchburg or you work in Fitchburg. And then question number 3, which I'll open up to the audience here, is what kind of arts, culture, science, technology, and humanities programs that's events, projects, trainings, or et cetera, would be important to have in our community? Is there anyone in the public here in the legislative building that would be interested in speaking to that? Okay, seeing none. We still have no one online, so I will move on to question number 4. This would be selecting the top 3. What type of programs would you, your family, and or our community benefit from? And the following list are from the top responses from last year's public input meeting and the multiple choice questions. So out of the above, the choices are youth programs, theater, sensory friendly, public art and beautification, projects celebrating local history, cultures, and diversity, unifying gatherings for all interests, ages, and demographics, nature, science, and environmental programs, music, food festivals and classes. And please note that grant funds for these types of programs cannot go towards the purchase of food, but anything surrounding the support of the food event could be requested. Any downtown revitalization efforts, and art and education classes. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to support any of these programs that are here? So I see Dan is nodding his head. Would you like to come to the podium and tell us which would be your top 3, or do you can put that privately in your survey? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Hi, my name's Dan. I would love to see. It's not specifically up there, but youth programs, I guess, or family-friendly programs. I have 2 young children, and we're always trying to do things with the community and get to know lots of other families in the area. And a big focus of ours is just taking advantage of the programs at the library, which are always great. And we do take advantage of mock as well, which has been just such a great asset for our family. So, and that's really grown over the past few years. We've gone for 3 years, and we've seen a lot of families move into the Miss Kelly's kind of her name's Miss Kelly. She runs a lot of the groups, but a lot of new families going to that. So there's a lot of new families moving to Fitchburg, and young families, and anything we can do to grow that asset, that side of the community would be awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to the next question. This again is selecting your top three. It is important for us to prioritize programs geared towards the following demographics in Fitchburg. And here is a list of a number of them. There is an other option in case there is something listed here that is not in line with what you're interested in. You're welcome to put that there in your survey. And the categories are the demographics are as follows: immigrants, formerly incarcerated, LGBTQIA2S+, single adults, those in recovery, those who are living with intellectual disabilities, mental health issues, and physical disabilities, veterans, families, children and teens, and that's broken out in 6 and younger, 7 to 12-year-olds, and 12 to 17-year-olds, young professionals, which is 18 to 24-year-olds, and 25 to 35-year-olds, additionally 36 to 59-year-olds, and 60-plus-year-olds. Also, people of color, that would be black people. Haitians are broken out separately. Latinos, where Brazilians and Puerto Ricans are broken out separately. And Asians, where Hmong and the Lao people are broken out separately. Additionally is the ethnically Jewish people, and that would be the last one before other. And I just want to note that there is a disclaimer that's on this list here that the above ethnicities relate to the most common and non-English spoken languages in the Fitchburg Public Schools. All programs must be cultural in nature and cannot promote a specific religion. Is there anyone in the public who would like to chime in on any of the demographics that we should focus our attention on? So, Lily, would you like to come up to the podium and speak to that? Yeah, no problem.
Hello, my name is Liliana Gomez Fernandez, and in addition to these demographics that I see there, I wish that I can see something that puts together people, that connect people. I wish that in addition to have programs that are specifically for certain races or immigration or backgrounds that we have, that we can have others that actually put people together, and that not only celebrates the individuality of each of the demographics, but that also sparkles the conversation across them. That is my suggestion. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Lily. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Okay. So we'll move on to question number 6. Well, that would be drawing a box around any of the above demographics in which you identify. We will skip over that and go to question number 7. How can organizers reach these communities, specifically in Fitchburg? And this isn't an invitation for the two of you to come up again, but if you know of any avenues in which we could reach those communities that you're interested in, we would love to know what that is, and you're welcome to come and speak about that now, or you can submit them in paper on another survey. Okay. I wanted to add, there's more to this question here. It's just that last year our application guidelines had required a local letter of support or commitment from the venue for any out-of-town applicants, a list of qualifications of contributors, partners, and advisors, and if there are virtual programs, they must be specifically promoted to the Fitchburg community, and the applicant must be a North Central Mass resident. So I want to just elaborate a little bit on the letter of support. No, where was it? Oh, the reference to out-of-town applicants. One of the things I think I omitted in explaining what we accept for. I had explained that we want grant requests that are for the benefit of the Fitchburg residents and held in Fitchburg. One of the things I neglected to state is that anyone from inside or outside of Fitchburg is welcome to apply to do a program. And in fact, a bunch of our programs are funded. We fund a bunch of programs that our grantees are located outside of Fitchburg. And so we definitely welcome that. Okay, moving on to Question 8. Do you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback for the Fitchburg Cultural Council? I don't know if anyone in the room has any feedback for us, but we are here to listen if that is your wish, or you can submit that privately through the online form or the paper form. I don't see anyone standing up, so I will move on to the next question. Question number 9, were you aware that the Fitchburg Cultural Council offers grants for individuals, organizations, schools, and community groups for arts, science, and humanities programs every year? This is a yes or no question. I believe the people in the room are aware of what we're doing here. But it is always refreshing to see a lot of no's. Because it's a good sign that we're getting the word out to the community that we're here to promote the world of arts and culture and to get more community participation in local events. So all of you have never heard of us. We're happy that you haven't heard of us, and welcome, because now you're going to be amazed at how much we can do for you. The last thing is, where did you hear about this survey? And that's a pretty simple thing to fill out, and you can do that online. So again, the online application, I'm going to bring the QR code back up at the top here. It'll be on the top right of your screen. The address is tinyurl.com/FCC survey 2024. You have until August 1st to submit your interest in what you would like the Cultural Council to fund and the next grant cycle. So thank you for your time and attention on that. Now, I think the next thing I wanted to do was, let's talk about what we've... Oh, Tamar, yes, I'm sorry.
I just want to remind the people in the public that there's a paper application on the desk that you left for everybody, so they can always grab one and do it here.
Yes, the paper survey.
Yes.
Correct, yep. Thank you.
Survey, application survey.
All right. So now I would like to just show, I think it's important because this is always amazes people how much we can do with the little, what we'll call the little amount of funding that we get. In FY24, which is the grant cycle we're in right now, we have been able to fund 54 programs within the city of Fitchburg, and that is huge. And the total grant money that we have been awarded in order to disperse for this has been $63,807. Now, this money is it's a bit inflated because of carryover money from prior years, because of COVID situations and so forth. It's not typically this high, but it is pretty significant. Okay, our what we received in our, thank you, Liz, for the current grant cycle, our awards were $56,600. So the difference between that is, what do we got? $9,000. About $9,000 were carried over from prior grant years, and these are events that were happening in this cycle. And speaking of cycle, the grant cycle, the event cycle, we will fund are events that have, like, this always gets confusing, and I'm going to probably state it a few times in different ways to try to gain some understanding from folks on this. There is an 18-month window in which you can use the funds that you're awarded. That 18-month window begins July 1 of the year, the same year you applied. So let's say if you apply on September 1st and your event happened 3 months ago, it qualifies. It qualifies in terms of the time frame. We have an 18-month period starting July 1 of this year. Any events that have occurred between now and the time the grant is awarded, or any event that happens after the grants are awarded through December 31st of 2025. So the 18-month period is if, for our current grant cycle that we will be coming into on September 1st, any event from July 1 of 2024 through December 31st, 2025 is eligible for funding. And we are a pay-you-in-advance council. I guess is the best way to explain that. We obviously can't pay you in advance if you haven't applied yet. But if we do award the funds, the funds come in January, February, March time period. And so if you have something occurring after that time, between then and December 31st, you can get your money up front. Anything that you apply for that occurred prior to that date, if you are funded, you will receive a reimbursement check for what you have spent on your event. So years ago, everything was reimbursement, and we were among the first local cultural councils to adopt the Get the Money Up Front program. What was the name of that program? I can't remember. But we jumped on that immediately because a lot of folks that are interested in doing programs here have little funds. They have big dreams but no money, and we'd love to participate in that. And it has actually grown the number of applications we received and enhanced the number of programs we've been able to bring to Fitchburg. So be mindful of that. What is listed here on the screen are all the different programs that we have funded, and I'm not going to read through all 54, but just to give you an idea, there are, what you'll see along the left-hand column is what's called name, but that's it's either the name of the applicant, if it's an individual, or the name of the organization, if it's an organization that submitted requests for funds for an event. And on the right side is the name of the project. Some of these project titles can be cryptic, and because there are 54 of them, I'm not well versed. If anyone wants to ask me about any specific ones, I can do my best to try to answer it. But what you will see here along the right are programs like the Uruguayan Independence Day Festival, the breakdance competition, the holiday lighting ceremony in the Upper Common, our Civic Days block party. There are plays from New Players Theater Guild, Stratton Players, City on the Hill Arts. I think City on the Hill Arts was a play, right, Secretary? There are helping kids stay safe online. There's writing, there's poetry, there's wellness, free yoga classes. In fact, I have an event to announce about the free yoga a little later in this program. The Discovery Museum, they offer free admission for folks that are on public assistance in order to attend, to go to the Discovery Museum. We help fund that. And they send us a report every year of the number of Fitchburg residents that go to the Discovery Museum, and it's heartwarming to see that a lot of people go. So we continue to fund that. We have sculpture workshops, storycraft. Let's see. The Fitchburg Citywide Jazz Concert. That was an event. A local resident had brought a famous trumpeter to Fitchburg, I believe. Oh, it was a drummer. It was a drummer. I'm sorry. You're right. Thank you, Eddie. We have the Fitchburg Military Band, which I talked about, the annual holiday concert of the Fitchburg Military Band as well. There are the summer concert series at the Upper Common. And I'm just going to scroll slowly through here so people can see this. There are the Friends of Coggeshall Park. They host a summer concert series as well. We help fund that. Friends of Fitchburg Dogs works with the Be Positive Therapy Pets program and community education to help people learn about pets and pet therapy and provide therapy for folks that need it. The after-school program at the Boys and Girls Club. And I keep going through here. We've got this one was an interesting, a new one that came up last year, was the hip-hop chair dancing for seniors. So I'm hoping that the folks that are seeing this are getting inspired about like the complete diversity of what is possible here. And maybe you have something that doesn't even fit this mold, but it will if you apply, you know. And let us give that some consideration. So please do that if you're so inspired. There's also the Low Park Chalk Art Festival, which we'll be announcing that coming up a little later in the program. And our own Shara Osgood on the Cultural Council, she helps run that, and you'll have an opportunity to talk to that in a bit, Shara. There's also the Accessible Art Studio, so for folks who have accessibility issues, it's a great program for that. We have the Sensory Friendly Theater that we fund that almost every year for the Arc of Opportunity. And more live music, Eddie's Music for Youth. What a great program, Eddie, and supporting children and getting them free music lessons and so forth. And we're always proud to fund that every year, so thank you for that. And I think that is enough. Unless there's anything in particular anyone wanted to call out.
The Fitchburg Open Studios.
Yes, Fitchburg Open Studios. That's right. That's coming up in October. And that's hosted by the Fitchburg Cultural Alliance and was formerly a project of the Fitchburg Cultural Council and launched by our own Tamar Russell Brown back in the day. So thank you for that. It's always popular. Anything else? Okay.
The regional show at FAM is a big deal.
Yes, the regional art exhibitions for artists from all over the area get to apply and be selected to have their art displayed in the Fitchburg Art Museum. And that's, how long do they do that for, like 3 months? Or is it 6 weeks? Or?
It opens in June. It's usually up about 3 months, I think.
Yeah.
It goes up through August.
Up about 3 months. I know that I just recently went to the, what do they call it, the grand opening?
Yeah, the 88th opening.
Yeah.
And it's up now, so.
Yep, and it is up now.
go see
You
it.
can go there and see it. And if it's the first Thursday of any month, you can get in for free. Or if you live in is it in Ward 4? Or just within the
The North of
surrounding?
Main
North of
neighborhood.
Main.
North of Main neighborhoods, which is right, it's the neighborhood where the art museum is. If you live in that neighborhood, you can also get in for free. Okay. Is there any comments from the councilors on items I may have missed?
If we list them all, we would be here all night. So.
Yeah, and anything topically about what public should know with our grant cycle? I might need to get a water.
There, we have water. We can get you a water, Joe.
Okay.
I just want to say that the public should be excited about this. There's a lot of opportunity here for ideas and for artists in the community to, even non-artists in the community, to come up with things that they want to see the community have. The application process is super easy. The council is always willing to help people with their ideas, and we can't give direct ideas to people, but we can help people with the application if they have questions. It's really easy, and it's an incredible thing that the state of Massachusetts does. I think we should all be really thrilled that we live in a state who dedicates funds to each city and town's arts.
Yes.
So, and it's a little broader than just art. It can be humanities. We've seen the schools come through here and get grants for different robotics programs and things that have to do with a little more like the sciences, humanities. So it's broad. It doesn't just have to be painting and music. It can be, it can encompass other things that involve education at the school level too.
One of my most memorable applications, I haven't seen it in a few years, was the South Street School applied to have a petting zoo come to the school. And it was so that the children could learn where their food comes from. And I thought that was a terrific thing.
That's awesome.
So, like I said, if you can dream it up, either someone already has or you're going to contribute and it'll be fun and exciting and new. So definitely give it some consideration. We'd love to have your application. All right. So this nearly concludes the public input meeting. I do want to switch over back to our main agenda and cover the upcoming event announcements. I have a couple of things. One is I had mentioned earlier with regard to the yoga classes in the month of August. So for the month of August over at Sima Park, there are free yoga classes available. We'll be running from 6 to 7 p.m. It is rain or shine, and there is no registration required.
You didn't say what day?
It is Monday nights in August from 6 to 7 p.m. Thank you, Sharon. And the next thing, thank you, Tamar. The next thing on my agenda is with regard to the Winter Bazaar. For those of you who are familiar with the Cultural Council and our Winter Bazaar, or who are not familiar with that, we started a year or two ago with hosting events, having vendors come to City Hall and showcase their wares and things they've created and wish to sell to the public. And we held a spring bazaar and a winter bazaar. We always held it around a holiday period. And the winter bazaar is currently scheduled for either November 30th or December 1st. It is still in flux as to which day we will pick. It is also, the 2 days are a Small Business Saturday, which is November 30th, and December 1st is the holiday tree lighting ceremony. So, we'll be working with the mayor's office to select the proper day, and we'll be announcing that soon. Those are the two events that I had, and I know, Shara, you would love to talk about the Chalk Art Festival.
Sure. On September 14th, which is a Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., there will be the Low Park Chalk Art Festival. It's the second year. It's an event that's really focused around getting the community together, making art in designated squares on the basketball court in the park. There will be live music and food trucks and all kinds of resources, and it's just a great way for the community to deepen their connections and connect with local businesses. Like last year, we had gift cards to a lot of local restaurants and shops, and we're doing that again this year. There's some professional artists who come in and will get a stipend, and there's awards for the best art. There's also families and groups that can come in and do a square, and smaller squares for kids. They can sign up ahead of time. There's flyers at City Hall and at Main Street Studios. There's a Facebook page called Low Park Chalk Art Annual Event that you can go and look up anything, or the email address is lowparkchalkart@gmail.com. You can look at any of those places to find out more, and you can get involved. You can volunteer. You can come participate on the day. You can participate in our open mic, which will be happening during the course of the day. I hope everybody will check it out.
Thank you, Shara. Does anyone else have anything they would like to announce? Liz?
I'm going to make a plug for Words from the Berg. So this Saturday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Fitchburg Art Museum will be Words from the Berg, hosted by Laura DiCaronimo. It's the first celebration of over 40 poets being featured on mobile displays at the Boulder Art Gallery, Fitchburg City Hall, and Fitchburg Art Museum. The wordsmiths submitted over 100 individual pieces, and some will be featured at the museum on Saturday from 12 to 2 with readings, and others will be displayed in different areas downtown, City Hall, the Boulder Art Gallery, and the Art Museum. So it's going to be fun if you like poetry. And I believe there might be a sort of a kickoff Friday at City Hall at 6 p.m. I just heard that before this meeting.
Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Okay, I do want to add one more thing. For any early risers on a Friday morning, you get to see the less professional side of me on the radio on WPKZ at 7:30 to 8 a.m., where I talk about everything happening in the city of Fitchburg. That's AM 1280 or FM 105.3, and also streaming online at WPKZ.net. I encourage you to check it out if you ever want to hear about those 100 things that I mentioned earlier that were happening this week. It's every Friday morning at 7:30 a.m., and I'm always plugging something that the Cultural Council is working on. And feel free to join me. And with that, I think we can take a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Our motion to adjourn, that's what I meant. Sorry, Tamar. And Shara seconds. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.